Okay, so cylinder would not lift the engine high enough. Went shopping for a cylinder, couldn't find one. If I'm going to replace it, I want to replace it with an air over, where I can control it with air or manually. So I started, of course, got online immediately. Right when I noticed it wouldn't pick it up, I'm like, man, I've had this thing forever. It's going to fail me now. So I got online. Harbor Freight showed some. They showed one in our Kennesaw store, one in our Cartersville store. So we were going to go to the track anyway in Ringgold, Georgia, Brainerd Optimus, or Brainerd Motorsports Park now is what it's called. So I was like, well, I'll just go to Cartersville because it's on the way, go buy that one, and then shoot up to go to the drag strip for the day because it was Saturday when we were fooling with this in the last couple frames. And so I'm like, all right, my store, which is like 2 minutes from here, 5 minutes, Harbor Freight here, didn't have it. Showed it online not having it. But these other stores showed to have it. So I shoot it over to Cartersville, they don't have it. I'm like, great. I got a little pissy with them. Went on to the drag strip. Sunday was Easter, so I wasn't fooling with it on Sunday. I had family stuff to do. Monday morning I get up. The Kennesaw store showed one, which is about 25 minutes south of here. So I jumped on the highway, rolled down. They didn't have it either. I'm like, why do y'all show the have them in stock, but you don't have them? And they're like, well, that may be a display, which I never even saw a display. So if Harbor Freight shows it in stock, you better call ahead because they don't usually in this situation. Several stores showed them, they didn't. So when I asked the guy, I said, what's the deal? Does any store in the Atlanta market have one where I could go pick it up? No stores have it. I'm like, well, can I order it online? No pre-orders. I'm like, why do you even have it on your website? It's ridiculous. I know there's a shortage on everything, and everything's getting really hard to get. Everything's been hard to get. But just show it out of stock and back ordered on your website. Save customers, a lot of grief. So I started hunting Northern Tools because Northern Tools is local too. They don't keep them in the stores either, and they're a little pricey compared to what I found on Amazon. I found the exact same one on Amazon as at Northern. The Northern one was like $200. The one on Amazon, I got it for $120. It'd take over a week to get it. I don't know, it was like 10 days to get it. So I've got it. We're going to get that one off. We're going to get this one out of the box. Hopefully it will mount up without too much issue. And now we'll have an air over hydraulic engine hoist, which will be pretty cool. Won't have to sit here and hand pump unless we have a compressor failure, and then I have the ability to hand pump at that point. So we've been just leaving this thing hooked just in case it accidentally got knocked over. The hook would catch it and it wouldn't hopefully fall totally because it's all the way down. But we're going to take that off. I got to get this arm up somehow and change this ram out. So we're going to work on that. All right, so my made in China air over hydraulic cylinder ram, whatever you want to call it, long ram jack by Stark, 8 tons. This is a pretty heavy duty deal. I mean, 8 tons is a lot. I don't remember what this jack was. You can see this jack just sits on this plate. It never was even bolted down. That bolt, I mean, had a provision for a bolt, but the plate wasn't drilled, and I never drilled it. It just sits there. Luckily, it never kicked out. Probably not smart to leave that not bolted down to that plate, but it is what it is. But I don't believe that's going to fit in that lander and that landing plate or whatever you want to call this. So we're going to have to probably take that off. It does look like this will fit. It should. So we'll have to, I guess I got to get a screw jack, get that ram up. It will lift itself without any weight on it up, but it won't lift the engine up high enough. So I'll get that thing jacked up, get a screw jack under it, and get this mess off of here. And I mean, that could be rebuilt. We have local hydraulic cylinder people, hydraulic shops, I guess you'd call it, that rebuild cylinders like that, you know. For as a matter of fact, we had the one on top of the 4-post lift. It blew a seal out when we had our old shop, and I wasn't around at the time when it did it, but the guy that was working with me at the time said it just fell. Luckily, there wasn't anything on it, I don't think. I can't remember exactly what the situation was, but the ram blew out. He took it off. I think I was out of town. He was wanting to use it for his personal vehicle or something, and we were splitting the shop. We had a big shop, 7,000 square feet and 5 acres. We was the size of my last place, but I didn't live there. It was just a commercial building. But anyway, so that one was pulled off and rebuilt local, but it leaks still. It does have a little bit of a seat past the seal, so it was fixed, but I don't know if it was fixed properly. And I didn't want to go through that with this, because I still need to take that off and have it re-examined or resealed. I really don't want to have to replace that one. No telling what that cylinder cost. So, all right, we'll get this thing swapped out. Like I said, I could probably have this rebuilt, but I like the feature that this has. It's air. Hopefully this works out good. We won't have any problems. I read some reviews on Amazon. Some of them were great. Some of them were terrible. That's how it goes with these China parts, you know, or anything really. Well, Bailey's in here supervising. I think that'll work. Screw jack under the boom. Now I can take the hydraulic ram out. Well, that came off nice and easy, and this plate I think is going to work. We're about to find out. Hopefully that's enough pivot. I don't have to grind off. I might have to round off the corners there. All right, I got the base mounted. I think that's going to be enough play to get us to this first hole, and that's where we've been using it for years anyway. As long as this thing lines up, it's a little bit off center. Maybe I'll push it over, I hope. If not, I might be able to spin it around. Might be able to spin it around the other way. We'll see. I'm gonna put some air in it. I'm gonna put some lube in the air fitting here. I hope that air fitting works with my air hose. Tighten it up. And I'd slide it all the way to this side on the top, so it's not really in a bind. And this thing, let's see, it works pretty smoothly. You can control it pretty easily with the air. I like the fact that I don't have to sit there and pump that dang handle. And this thing is, as long as this little Chinese cylinder holds up, this ram will lift 8 tons. So it's much bigger than what was on that. I think that was 2. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember exactly, but you can go fast like that, or you can kind of So you can really control it pretty good. So far so good. I haven't lifted anything with it. We're going to hook up to this little LS and lift it up and set it down in here. I've got a quick appointment to go to, and then we'll be back. We'll drop this thing in. Sound of that's popping and cracking. What's going on? Crapola. Almost there. Here's my major problem. With my old cylinder, I had a handle I could just reach over and work it. This one has got the release at the end, like a little bottle jack. So I'm not real thrilled about that, because it's going to be hard to keep this engine from swinging while I lower it. I'll do my best here. Sit forward, not sideways. Come on, baby. All right, let's come down some. Do some more work on this hoist. It's popping and banging. Does not like the way that cylinder is mounted. It worked. I got a floor jack under the tranny so I can raise and lower the front of the bell housing as I need it. All right, flywheel's up against the top of the bell housing on the transmission. I'm hovering over the mount on this side. Let me check this side. Well, it's going to be tight with this air conditioning. All right, we got to come up with the tranny a little bit. As high as I can go with it. Really need that transmission higher. Okay, I've kind of got, the engine's kind of in a twist. I need to rotate it down. It looks like the transmission needs to come up a little bit, which I don't think I have any room for that. Let's see if I can pick up on the engine and get it to settle down on the other side. I repositioned the floor jack on the transmission. I'm having trouble getting the flywheel or the flex plate into the bell housing in this motor mount to drop. I've got like this much. Oh baby, there you go. The flex plate's in the bell housing on the driver's side. Let me see if I can't lower it down some. All right, weight is off of the engine. Let's see if I can't wiggle it in. It's real close. All right, flex plate, I believe, is in. Now I just got to get the engine over the so it mounts properly. Whew. It needs to come this way. Oh, that's too heavy. Close. Stab it. Stab it. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ha ha. She is on the mounts. I got the transmission a little high now. Lower it down. I mean, she's lined up, baby. Motor mount bolt holes are just about perfectly lined up. It will take very little finagling to get those to go through. There she is, sitting all nice and pretty in there. I'll show you. See there? We were worried to death about these motor mounts not being in the right spot because those instructions were kind of crappy. As you see, they're dead on the way I had them. So if you go back and look at the motor mount videos I did on this car, we've got a lot of videos on this car because this thing's been here for like 1.5 years, and we've just been chipping away at it as we can get parts and be working on other jobs, try to make a living and stuff like that. So and waiting on parts, man, it's been a waiting game on a lot of stuff. Some of the stuff was wrong, some of the stuff had incomplete hardware, so I had to go hunting down hardware, stuff like that. There's just been one obstacle and hurdle after the other, and I work here by myself. Every once in a while I get a little help from my 10-year-old son, which I'm grateful for. Caleb, I appreciate you. You help out a lot around here, and I appreciate that. He is learning. All right, so I'm gonna stab some motor mount bolts in these holes. I went and got, that's another thing we were shorted on. We didn't have the hardware for the bolts to go through the mounts that holds the engine to the frame. So I had to hunt some down. Luckily, a O'Reilly's had these. It's a Dorman engine mount kit, bolt kit. They're like $6 a piece. If you look online, or when I looked online, they're like 22 bucks. So you can get these local. Don't freak out. Dorman makes them, and your regular auto parts store should have them. Small block Chevy or GM engine mount bolts. So, all right, I'm gonna try to slide these bolts in. Oh, look at that. She's poking out the other side like a turtle head. There we go. All right, cool. Bolt went straight in. No fighting, just a little tappy tap. One thing I'm hoping I have enough room to get the headers in from the bottom. I was gonna wait till the boy got home from school and have him kind of hold them, but I figured that would be just a cluster, so I'm praying I can get them in, and I've got enough room here to slide them up from the bottom. I should be able to. So I'm leaving this bolt out for now on this side in case I've got to. I think this side's got plenty of room. The other side's what I'm worried about. I may end up having to put this bolt in and take that one out and pivot that side up if I have any trouble. So I'm going to get this hoist out of the way for now. I'm going to raise the car up and try to get a couple bell housing bolts in from the bottom. I can get some of them from the top, but I want to go ahead and I can maneuver the transmission around a lot better with this thing up above my head, and see if I can weasel these headers in at the same time. And I mean, I might as well put the torque converter bolts in while I'm down there too. So if I have them, I hope I have them. Oh boy, here we go. Don't be a dummy like me. I just assumed, or didn't even cross my mind, I guess, that this crate motor had dowel pins in the bell housing of it. It doesn't. So I robbed the ones out of the old Pontiac motor, because they're all the same. And of course, getting them out with a pair of vice grips or pliers, I scarred them up a little bit, so I'm buffing them back out. And then hopefully I can get them in without having to pull this engine back out. Don't forget your dowel pins. All right, so I got all the bell housing bolts in, but one on the driver's side. There's one on the very bottom, then one up, and then there's one on the top, and there's one on the side and one down. And one other one up top, which is kind of weird. There's one like right here, but there's not one in that hole there. There's no threads, there's no boss for it, so kind of strange. So that one there, I'm gonna have to at least take the transmission mount off and lower it down, because I can't get the bolt in because of the firewall. Not a big deal if I have to take the cross member and everything out just to get an angle where I can get that bolt in. Not a biggie. Should be able to get that last bolt in. That way I'm not gonna worry about it right this second. I want to get this other motor mount bolt in real quick, and then I'm going to put the intake back on just to keep from getting any dirt and debris falling into this thing. What I don't like about this motor plate is it leaves this back hole exposed, and I don't know if they designed that to use it on top of this plate, the valley plate, but I didn't want to put any pressure on that. I didn't want that there while I was lifting the motor. So anyway, I'm gonna get the motor mount bolt in, and then I'm gonna get, since I know I don't have to pull this engine back out, hopefully. I stuffed the header up on the driver's side just for, I didn't pull the spark plugs, but the only thing I need to do to get the header in from the driver's side. It'll shoot right in from the bottom. I just need to pull the spark plug wires out of the way. And I might have to take the plugs out, I don't know yet. Shouldn't have to, but I might. The passenger side looks easy breezy. It's got a ton of room. It should shoot right up there. I'll take the plug wires off on that side as well, but not a big deal. We will get rock and rolling here. Progress, baby. Oh, seems like forever, but finally have an engine in the hole. Okay, got the valley cover down and torque down. The specs for this motor, at least, were 18 foot-pounds. So we get that all torqued down. Now we're going to throw the intake on it and keep rocking and rolling. All right, we got slid the headers in on both sides. I got to tighten the bolts up. They are in place. I had to take the dipstick tube out on that side to get the header in and all the spark plug wires, but the headers are in. I just need to snug the bolts up, put the spark plug wires back on, intake back on. We're going to throw the intake on right now. All right. Start twisting those bolts in. You reach that, Caleb? Just tighten them as much as you can by your hands, and then I'll torque them with a torque wrench. All right, intake's on, torque down. You go 44 inch-pounds, not foot-pounds, and then 89 inch-pounds. Okay, don't do foot-pounds. It's too much for a plastic intake. All right, we've got that wrapped up. I'm gonna button these headers up and probably wrap this video up. Come back and join us again in the next episode of the TA that takes forever to put together. We will, I don't know what we're gonna do next. We got all kinds of little stuff to be buttoning up on this thing. We've just made a huge hurdle, but we still have a ton of little stuff to get back in. Radiator, hoses, wiring, figure out where the computer's going to go. He wants to put the battery in the trunk. I got to get the proper spacing for the torque converter and get the torque converter bolted down. Still got to drop the tail shaft so I can get that other bolt in the bell housing. We got air conditioning lines to run. We've got hydro boost lines to run to the power steering. We got power steering lines to run. We got just a lot of little stuff that's, you know how it goes, time consuming. Very, very time consuming. Doesn't sound like much, but it is. It's going to take me forever, but I'm going to chip away at it as fast as I can. Stay tuned. Give me that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell notification. Hit the share button. Show your friends. And come back and join us again. Appreciate you.